Hello, Markus.
Hello, Heiko.
Hello, hi everyone who's tuning in for today's Ask Me Anything session.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, long time no see
Yeah, we had
here.
one month's break, so to speak.
It was only 1 month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but now we're back, and as usual, we have a little theme at the beginning where we try to refer to today's date, and we found out that today is a birthday of Yngwie Malmsteen, pretty well-known hard rock guitarist. He turned 60 today.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Sweden here. I think he's from Sweden. Yeah.
Yes, so we can assume by the name that he is from Sweden.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah, so what you have been up to? Any interesting stuff happened?
Yes, so now I'm finally married with big celebration.
Oh, I saw the pictures. Very nice. Yeah.
Yes,
Congrats.
was great day. Great day. Married the best wife in the world. So
Of
yes.
course. Excellent. All the best. That's cool.
So yeah, what's up? What was up to you last time?
Well, for me, it was also interesting. Not maybe not exciting as you. Well, I went to the PS Conf just recently to Prague, the PowerShell conference, and it was awesome. Nice people, great sessions. I met Jeff Hicks. I had a chance to talk to Bruce Payette. I even could demo Script Runner to him, and he was like really impressed. That was really cool.
Very nice.
And talking about very cool, very nice. We have a very cool guest today. It's Harm Veenstra from the Netherlands, and so we will have, I think, a very interesting conversation with him. So I'll let him into the stream here. Hi, Harm. How are you?
Hi, Harm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, fine, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the reason why we are together now is shout out to Experts Live Netherlands. That's where we met the first time last year, right?
Last year, yep.
Yeah, and then the second time just a few weeks ago, again in Den Bosch. So
in a very small room where you had your presentation.
Yeah, small room, but many people. I prefer that to have a big room and a little number of people. So,
yeah, it was a bit crowded. Yes.
Yeah, it was crowded, but I enjoyed it. It was really cool. Yeah. So I think we have a couple of questions. So typically, we start with a little introduction. So things like since when you are in IT. So what have you been up to in general? And so and then later we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about, of course, PowerShell. But maybe you can give a little backstory of what brought you to IT, what you're doing there, things like that. That would be, I think, cool.
Yeah, well, I started IT when I was 18, so that was like in 1996. Then I started working pretty early because I was in between two different educations, and I thought, well, I might as well start working. And once you start working in IT and you make some money and you can leave your parents' house and live on your own, then you never go back to school. So
yeah, you enjoy the freedom, right?
Yeah. Well, that was my start, and I started working at Achmea, which is the largest insurance company in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And I worked there for 11 years, so that was my start of IT, being in like an enterprise environment. So.
Okay. So was it like, what was this? Was there Windows around, or was it still DOS 5 or something, or Windows 95?
95 was there. I started with Windows 3.11, I think. Windows for Workgroups.
Windows for Workgroups. Oh yeah. Okay.
So and NT4, and then Windows 2000, 2003. Those were my biggest projects at Achmea. we built like a new server environment consisting of Windows 2000 and 2003 as a replacement for Novell NetWare, if you know it.
I managed Nova NetWare actually, starting with NetWare 3 and then going to NetWare 4 with the NDS and stuff like that. That was, I would say, pretty advanced at that time. Especially
technically, it's probably still better than Active Directory.
You know what? That's what I'm thinking once in a while. Like, you know, this directory service, like the search possibilities and finding all the permissions and rights, just, you know, by clicking on an object and knowing, okay, this is all the okay, but it's funny that you say that, because I have this once in a while this comes to my mind as well, like how advanced this already was back then. Yeah.
But it doesn't exist anymore. Well, I don't think it's there anymore.
I can tell you that my girlfriend works in an organization where NetWare is still used, and they using GroupWise for emailing. So,
okay.
Yes.
Perhaps we can do some PowerShell stuff on that as well now.
They use PowerShell actually for everything around their desktops. But yeah, NetWare still it somehow exists. Let's put it this way. Yeah.
Okay, well, and when I left Achmea, I was working there for 11 years, I think. I joined a couple of different companies, mostly being like an IT systems administrator guy. And my last 2 jobs, including this one that I'm working with next now, I'm more like a consultant, like pre-sales consultancy, doing projects and not being a system administrator anymore. So that's the step up for the last almost 6 years now, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that also means traveling to customers or doing a lot of stuff remote?
Yeah, mostly in the Netherlands. At my previous company, it was in Belgium, Germany, those kind of countries nearby, but not that far, no. Usually it's just Dutch customers, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I think, Markus, this brings us to the next question. What do you think?
I think to the first question. So the first question is a PowerShell related question. So how and why did you start learning PowerShell?
Well, I actually started learning PowerShell when PowerShell Monad was there. So that's 1.0, 2.0, I think.
Okay, so you were an early adopter.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I started scripting in batch scripts first, and then CMD, well, almost the same, similar. I skipped VB scripting because I didn't like writing pages of code for doing something simple. And then PowerShell came in, and I immediately fell in love with it because it did exactly what I wanted. It was way more flexible, and I used it for scripting from then for like almost everything that I did. Some colleagues of mine, when I first started, said, "Well, if Harm doesn't use PowerShell for a day, he must be sick."
Okay, yeah, I can relate to some former colleagues of mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So for a pretty long time now, and I used every version since, and I'm mostly on PowerShell 7 now. I hardly use PowerShell 5, only because I have to, because it's in your OS or on your server operating system. Most things I just use PowerShell 7 for. That's the standard now.
Okay. And also for if you're doing things for your customers, they are also already PowerShell 7.
You have to watch out if you don't use anything PowerShell 7 specific and deploy it on their environment. Then things just might not work because of that. Visual Code is very forgiving in that, and Visual Code will also tell you in what version you could run it. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay. So we have the next question, Markus, huh? Is it?
Yeah, sure. It's your turn.
It's my turn. Okay. So okay. All right. So it's like, okay, what would you recommend for people wanting to start with PowerShell? So I guess it's about, how to learn, what kind of maybe resources, or how you started learning PowerShell?
Well, the best thing, and I think that goes for all the things that you learn, you have to have like a target, a thing that you want to accomplish first, so that you can work towards that. Because a little sidestep, I also tried using Python. I can't learn Python because I have no general practice or use case for it. So then learning becomes hard. If you use PowerShell to accomplish a simple administrative task that you do like every day, and which is time consuming and boring, then you want to automate that so that you have some more time. So then you actually have a use case for it. And then you start learning really fast because you see the benefit of it. Because learning PowerShell just by, can I create something, can I delete something, can I add or summarize numbers or letters, okay, but that's not really a use case.
It's more a theoretical thing, right? Like,
yeah.
But okay, so really having a proper use case where you see the benefits very quickly, right?
That's how I learned it the fastest.
And was it like things like AD related, or what happened, like the platform?
Mostly AD related, creating users, creating groups, scanning file systems for permissions. But it could also be like deployments. I used Microsoft Deployment Toolkit a lot too to deploy clients before I started using Intune. And automating your deployments, error handling, logging, PowerShell just makes it a lot easier.
Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, so if somebody starts, so one thing, okay, you need to have a good use case. Did you start reading books, watching videos? No.
Books, no. Videos, well, back in PowerShell 2.0, there wasn't that much videos about it. I did read a lot of Docs Microsoft.com, which is Learn Microsoft.com now, of course, but just get help, examples. Reading what it does. I did the same thing when I was like 12 or 14, I guess, when I first started using MS-DOS. Just run every command, see what it does, and if it's destructive, then I probably shouldn't have run that. Okay, then you learn.
That's true.
Just be curious what all the commandlets are doing. So, and then you will find out on your own.
And maybe sometimes you use what if it's available.
Yes.
Well, the what if safety is always there, and most commandlets do have that. But sometimes the output that you get, the what if would have, your script would have changed something. Okay, I know, but you should have a little bit more detail about it. But at least you could see what objects it would have changed.
Exactly. So just to avoid accidentally maybe delete all your AD objects because your filter wasn't right or something like this.
Something you do on a Friday afternoon and you go home and then you get a phone call that all the users are gone. You would want to avoid that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's something you really don't want. That's true. Yeah.
But it's more by learning that. So it's probably a slow learning curve because you have to look at everything, look at the examples, look at the help files. But the whole syntax, the whole get, set, add, remove things, the commandlets, they all work the same. You just have to check out the parameters on them. And
I think it's understanding the concept, right? So I think that's the main thing. So I'm not sure if it looks like we have lost Markus. He's frozen. So he told me before the session, the last couple of days, they had some internet connection issues at home. So let's see.
I'm seeing that.
Let's see if he's
gone.
Okay. Let's see if he's coming back. So, but otherwise, it's okay. We will keep an eye on, hoping he's coming back.
But is it something that is in Germany in general? Because I think he's stated. Is he in Germany also?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because the Netherlands has quite a broadband connection, like everywhere. But how's the internet connection in Germany?
Well, I would say it's I'm living on the countryside. It's good. So for the last, let's say, 3 or 4 years, knock on wood, there was almost no outage and always some good connection. So I would say from my perspective, it's pretty reliable, but there might be areas where it's not that. So let's put it this way. But my experience really is good so far. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, but it's like 200, 300, 400 megabits of speed, or
yeah,
is it?
or 100, which for me is still totally enough. So yeah, no. But I know there are some areas where there might be a little. Actually, but this is like 15 years ago when I moved to the first time from a city to the countryside. I was not even thinking about there could be a topic about the bandwidth. But of course, there was one. So I started with, I think, like 1 megabit or something. Okay, but that's long gone. So that's like 15 years ago. So
Okay.
so that's since then it's all good. Yeah, absolutely. So infrastructure, of course, is an important topic for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so I think let's continue with the questions, and hopefully Markus will come back.
Yep.
So the next question would be. And as we can see in your footer in the picture, you are running the PowerShell is Fun blog.
Yep.
So the question would be, what was the reason you started your PowerShell is Fun blog?
I actually started it because, well, I was thinking about doing it for quite some time, but I read a lot of community blogs, and it's always helpful for me to find examples, resources, and I thought, well, I also have a lot of those. Why don't I share them with the community myself? So I started with a simple WordPress page, and then I claimed the PowerShell is Fun domain name because, well, PowerShell is fun.
That's what it is.
At least for
like
me, it is. I have enough colleagues who think it's not that fun because they don't completely understand it yet.
Okay.
So I claimed the domain name somewhere last year in March, I guess. So I'm almost a year something online now. And if I look back at the first blog post that I did and the blog posts that I'm doing now, they are getting better. The things that I do and that I share from my customer use cases, they're great, and I get a lot of feedback on that. And because of that, I just keep on writing new things.
Cool. And I think it's quite you're blogging quite frequently, right? So this is not like once a month. It looks like maybe once a week even.
Once a week, and when I first started, it was like 2, sometimes 3 times a week, but it's too much. That is too much of a schedule. So I try to do one on Monday, at the latest on Wednesday, and in the weekend I always share something as well. So 2 or 3 times that I do something for it. Yeah.
Cool. Very, very cool. And so I put the link into the chat so people can also start following your blog. And actually, I had yesterday I had a talk with Markus about, and he said he went to your blog and he found something about PS Edit, and I think he wanted to ask you a few things, but so maybe he will come back and then we can talk about that for sure. So definitely something people should to check out. PowerShellFun.com. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place to see. I try to blog things from the field, so to say, not just theoretical things, but things that I actually use myself. If I used it for customer use cases, then I have to strip it from some details, I guess. So try to make them as generic as possible, but
Yeah, so I can see also that a lot of really practical examples, right? That people can apply, I would say immediately, depending on the topic and the platform.
You should always check your scripts first before applying.
That's true. And this now even becomes more true if you start, throwing in things like ChatGPT and you're using ChatGPT as your companion. Never trust, as Doug Fink says, never trust what ChatGPT is throwing out. Oh, Markus is back. Markus is back. Hey.
Yes. Hello.
Sorry, my PC just crashed.
Oh,
it wasn't your internet.
Okay, because I was speculating it might be your internet connections you talked about. Okay, can you just tell me, Markus, what kind of operating system you're using on your machine? What is it actually?
It's Windows.
What?
It's Windows.
Windows shouldn't crash.
With my, I think it wouldn't have if my no.
I thought it's your MacBook.
No. The Mac.
Okay.
I thought about switching to my MacBook because it would be at least a little bit more stable than Windows.
Okay.
But I tried it, and I think it will do the job until we are finished.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So as we started to talk about Harm's PowerShell is Fun blog, and you told me that you were reading his article about PS Edit.
Yes, indeed.
Was there any questions that you had, or just any comment?
No, yeah, just a comment. No questions. I'm a big fan of that so-called TUI stuff, of the terminal user interface stuff, and I tried. I read your article this morning, and I installed this PS Edit module, and it's just working fine. It's a great opportunity to edit your scripts within the terminal, so you do not have to switch to any IDE or stuff like that.
No.
So on my MacBook, I run Vim or NeoVim and configured it with Lua, so not with PowerShell. But I like that stuff, and so the PS Edit module is great to work with. So, but I think I'm not sure, but I think it has a lack of performance in the Windows terminal. So not in the native PowerShell client, in the Windows terminal. I think it's a little bit slow. But
I think it's slower in larger scripts, especially when you try to format things or have like really large functions and you try to run parts of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I will include it in my daily work. So it's great.
In your tool belts.
In your toolbox.
My toolbox. Yeah, in my toolbox.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So,
is Visual Studio Code more the thing for you, also on the Mac?
I use mainly Visual Studio Code for editing scripts, or do some stuff with Golang. Or C#, I mostly use Visual Studio Code. Or as I said, I try to get used to that terminal editors like NeoVim or stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But with PowerShell, with PowerShell, I think it's not as easy as with, for example, Golang, because you have to install all that LSP stuff manually, and it needs a lot of work to configure to get a proper configuration. So you have all that IntelliSense and these auto close of the brackets and stuff like that, and but I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and Heiko uses ESA.
Right? Thanks for mentioning that.
I saw it in your demo, so there was no escaping that. But
I have to. Yeah, I confess that's true. It's really like that's what I started with, and for me, typically, it still does the job for what I'm doing, and I have to say also, that's why I was asking you early on, like. Most of the customers that I'm working with are still on Windows PowerShell, I have to say. So of course I have VS Code also on my machine, but my go-to at the moment, I try to switch. So teaching an old horse new tricks. So I will slowly I will move, but so my go-to is really typically is like ISE. So, but
So,
I know it's not supported anymore, and
but there's a color scheme for
I know,
Visual
I
Studio
know,
Code.
I know. This is all
You
I
really
have.
like that? You could switch. Yeah.
Yes, I have it all, and because for showing things, as we learned from sessions from Thomas Maurer, it's always good to have it in light scene because people can see it better. So it's all there. So it's just me.
Dark theme all the way. No.
So it's okay. So for me, it's just me, just doing it and getting used to it. So,
But I also saw some buttons in your ISE windows from Script Runner. Is it like a plugin in your ISE, or?
Yeah, this is an add-on that allows you to directly communicate with the script library in the background and to do some check out and check in functionality. But we also have it for VS Code. So
yeah, okay. So
there's
no excuse.
Yeah, so right. So I had this is that's right. I had this excuse for until the last couple of months ago because we didn't have the VS Code extension, but now it's there. So
no.
Even less excuse. I know. So yeah, I'm guilty for sure. Yeah, but
what do you do with your GitHub integration? GitHub is so much easier in Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, so I mean, my scripts are mainly still local, or they're in the script runner library, and then we have the synchronization that goes on in the background with Git. But also there, with the next version, they're going to be directly tight integration with Git. So yeah, it's all, of course, that's where I have to go to.
Yeah. So I already use GitHub for all my script runner dev and demo instances. So it's much more convenient to use. Yes. So, but I think with the next script runner major version, there will be a native support of Git, not only GitHub, so all Git-based services. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's good. Some new stuff coming up. Okay, so interesting discussion, but I think Markus, we have to look at the questions that we still have here, right?
So yeah, okay. So what was the last question?
It was they were about the PowerShell is fun blog. So that's where we
okay.
stopped.
Okay, so then we have, as usual, the question: what is your favorite PowerShell module?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a difficult one. Well, which one do I use the most? I think I use the Azure ones and all the graph ones the most. But
Okay.
like a third party module, not from Microsoft directly. Oh, the import Excel, which I actually use for exporting to Excel, but it's called import Excel. That's one that I start using more frequently because, well, that's the question that I get the most. Okay, now I have a CSV file. What do I do with it? Well, you just open it in Excel. But people like to receive Excel files with their reports straight away. So that's the one that I'm starting to use quite often.
Okay, okay. Doug Fink will, I think, like to hear that. So I think the last time I checked the PowerShell gallery, I think it has, was it 2 million downloads or something? So it's really popular, right? So
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So that answered this question, and the next one would be. This is my turn, right?
It's your turn. Yeah.
It's my turn. What was your most interesting PowerShell project so far?
Ooh, I think it was one of my more recent blog posts. I like running scripts, but I like running them safely. So I did an integration with the Windows Sandbox. So I started up a Windows Sandbox session and connected from Visual Studio Code using freshly generated SSH keys in the process. And then I have like a throwaway sandbox VM in which I can run my scripts, test them, destroy the whole machine, no worries. I can just close it again and start again. So for me, that makes working with more dangerous scripts and testing deployment stuff a lot easier.
Okay.
Even easier than with my Hyper-V VMs, which I have to re-enroll in Intune every now and then. But yeah, that's the more difficult one.
Okay, and so this is something that you you're obviously then using on a daily basis. So it's something that it's also part of what you do continuously.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
my screen was locked because I wasn't active enough on my computer. So
Okay.
I'll just move my mouse around now. Yep.
Great. Okay. So, and then we have another question that.
Yes. So how do you see the adoption of PowerShell 7? I think we answered that a little bit.
Yeah, we have already talked about this
Discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was interesting. So really, so from your perspective, it's really.
Yeah,
Really something that...
I don't think it's going fast enough, and I did see those questions in the Microsoft community post as well. People really start asking Microsoft, when will PowerShell 7 be the default included operating system PowerShell version, and when will PowerShell 5 be gone? Perhaps it's something for Windows 12, I guess. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, so it's actually, it was also part of, it was a discussion in PSConf EU in Prague 2 weeks ago, because there were 3 or 4 people from the PowerShell team. They flew over from Redmond and they made some comments on it, but it was a little bit vague, because I mean they have this dependencies with .NET and with a long time support and stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to be in the next Windows version. So I don't know. I think the goal, the near term goal, I think, is to kind of find a way to make it even more, so simplify the process of getting PowerShell 7 on the machines. I mean, it's in the Windows Store now, and I think they're working on additional possibilities to make it as easy as possible to just deploy PowerShell 7 on the machine where it's necessary. Yeah.
They also mentioned something about the base image that is going to be too large because you have to include multiple .NET versions for it.
Yeah. So
in this date and time, I don't think that size of disks or deployments is not really that big of a problem. But okay.
Yeah. To me, it looks like they are kind of struggling or fighting on different levels to get it done. But we'll see. So, but I think this is the ultimate goal, to have it in the OS by default. We'll see.
Yeah,
but it's good.
Or both. That doesn't have to be replaced. Just as long as you have both available on your system.
Yeah,
it's also okay.
Yeah, but I think it's great to hear that in your experience, PowerShell 7 is really very well adapted, because I can't say it from the companies I'm working with. They're still, as I mentioned, ISE,
there's
with the social
difference as well. If you do certain things like event log parsing, for example, PowerShell 7 is like 3 or 4 times faster. And if you do that a lot, then it just saves your time in normal workflows.
And it really matters. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so we have another PowerShell related question. I think it's the last one.
It's the last one, yes.
Is it me, Markus? I'm getting totally lost.
So yeah, I can ask the question. So any new PowerShell projects planned for the future?
Yes, and those are more in the desired states department, I guess, for Windows, because I'm doing deployments as well. There's a winget extension for YAML in the making, in the preview, and I really want to start working on that so that I can completely configure my machine after I wipe it, not just by installing Intune packages, but all my development stuff. Just push off the button. It makes my life so much easier when I have to redeploy my machine. And I don't do that very often because it's a lot of work. But if you do so, then you have to automate it completely. So I'm thinking more those kind of lines, the whole desired state configuration part of your machine. Well, I really like that because I like automation and I like doing deployments and making everything like standard and easy to do. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. Because we because you mentioned DSC, just to also as Gail is the main organizer of PSConf and other events, I had a chance to talk to him about DSC, and we also have will come up with there's going to be a module for DSC that can you kind of integrate with Script Runner. Do you think DSC becomes more of a thing? Because as my experience was in the past, it was not really that used a lot. What do you think?
More for like server deployments and the actual versions of DSC. Not sure about version numbering. It's like 2, 3, and 4 now, I guess, if I'm correct. But DSC, the main supported branch is more for like Azure, and not for on-prem clients or service anymore. But there's still a big community in it, and there's still a lot of modules in it. But you have to have some kind of mechanism in that kind of line for making sure that your configuration stays correctly, the desired state stuff. So
absolutely. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. So I think the last part is we have 1 or 2 fun questions, Markus, right?
Yeah, exactly. So to get a little bit more out of the technical stuff in front of the weekend.
Okay, so the question would be, okay, what are you doing in your spare time?
What am I doing in my spare time? Gaming. That's also a big part of my free time.
Okay.
I like playing shooters online on my Xbox.
Me too.
I stopped doing gaming PCs because gaming PCs, it's very costly if you want to do it.
Yes, exactly.
So I switched to my Series X now. So 120 frames, no problem. My screen is okay. Much cheaper.
I love my Series X.
Yeah, exactly. So mostly Warzone. I was a big Battlefield fan for quite some years now, but they ruined my experience with the 2042 version.
Oh yeah, well, I can relate. I can fully relate to that. Yeah, it was not the same like the old Battlefield stuff. So Battlefield 3, I think, was the last really good one.
Yeah.
And then it statically goes further down to Battlefield.
Kind of okay, and then the 5 and the older types of wars, they were meh.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And 2042 was do not talk about.
No. but that's what I do. Playing shooters mostly. I did play things like Cyberpunk. Even when it came out, Cyberpunk was like a big technical fiasco in the start of 2 years ago now, I guess.
Yeah,
but I did complete the whole story in all types and formats, and I really liked it. So yeah.
So there will be a DLC, I think, in September this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. So I played it as well. I loved Cyberpunk, and I'm looking forward to play the DLC.
But does Heiko play any games?
Well,
he has a drum machine there.
I'm playing solitaire. No, no, seriously, I stopped gaming way back with Doom 2 and with I don't know what's it called anyway. So way back, I kind of lost interest. So that's not really my kind of thing. So it's more music. And we had a discussion before we started the stream that also you're into music as well, right?
Yeah. Not the same type of music that you listen to.
Yeah. which is great. So it's more like EDM, techno, or
techno, hardcore music, and everything that goes up to 300-400 BPMs with a lot of decibels. Yeah. You really like to feel the music.
Okay. So if it's 300 BPMs, it's like it's a constant bass drum, right? It's like that you hear. Okay.
So my wife is also into that kind of music, and I think we will visit the DEF CON 1 next year in the Netherlands.
Okay. It was just last weekend here. My son went.
Yes.
My son is 19, so he also goes to the same types of parties like I did. But DEF CON is big. It's like 3 or 4 days now. It's like the camping party as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think we will attend there next year. So I'm not sure if I will be part of it, but I think she will, and I will stay somewhere in the Airbnb or hotel, or do a bit of sightseeing.
Well, there are enough stages, so there's probably something you'll like, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Cool.
but festivals are always great. It's nice weather. You have music. You can walk to all the different areas. You can have a few beers. Festivals
Yeah.
are always great, even if you don't like the music that much. You'll still
Okay.
enjoy it.
Okay.
That's my opinion, but I don't know.
Okay, good to know.
Sounds like fun, you know.
Yeah.
PowerShell
Well,
is fun. Music is fun.
Music is fun, but I can't make music. I do have friends who make music. They have their own record labels. They press their own albums. So
Wow.
they are really into music. They have their own venues where they actually give parties. So yeah.
Okay.
No.
Very cool. So I think we're almost at the end of the session. Is there a final question, Markus?
Yeah, there is a final question, and it's: do you have any guilty pleasures?
Ooh, that's a good question. Like
And if yes,
listening
do
to
you want to
the wrong music or?
And if yes, do you want to reveal it? Right. So that's the question. Like,
Well, I think a normal guilty pleasure or pleasure would be like, and this is it's alcohol, but this is non-alcoholic. It's Friday afternoon, so I have to drive. But do you know the Untapped app? Do you even know what it is?
No. Tap in the sense of tap.
Yeah, Untapped. Untapped is like how to say. Like a Facebook for beer. You can. It's like a social network. You can add your friends, and you can check in your beer. So if you drink a beer, you can scan the barcode label on it, and then it actually knows which brewery made it, what the alcohol percentage is. You make a photo of it. You rate your beer from 1 to 5, I think, and then you check in your beer, and people can, instead of pressing like on it, they do a toast on it. So they raise their glass, their beer for you, and then you can see what your friends are drinking, what's the popular beers, and you have like a collection of the beers that you drank, and that you share it with your social network.
Okay, interesting.
Is that not a thing in Germany? You do drink beer, right?
Yeah. Of course we do, but I would say, in my case at least, it's not as organized as something like this. So,
yes,
but
you just drink beer, so okay.
Yeah, exactly. But this sounds interesting, Markus. Have you heard about this before?
No, I haven't. Friends of mine, I always heard a sound of a popping beer. How do we say it in English? If you popped it,
if you open a beer.
If you open a beer, yeah. So the sound, the beer, or the sound, what you can hear if you open up a beer, it always appears on their smartphones. I'm not sure if this is related to that.
It could be. I usually have the sound turned off on my phone because I don't like all the sounds from my phone. But okay.
Okay, so yeah, I always heard a sound of if you open up a beer, and maybe it could be related to that app, but I'm not sure.
Okay, we will check it out. We will check it out.
It could be. Well, there are a lot of Microsoft MVPs also on the Untapped thing, and when you see them in person, they think, "Well, I do know that you drink like a lot of beer because you share that as well." So that's
okay. Fun. Okay. So I think we have to check it out, Markus.
For sure.
Untapped.
Yes.
So see at the. So we of course learned something else again. That's cool. Very cool. So yes, I think that was a cool talk. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, and for everybody out there, follow Harm's blog. PowerShellIsFun.com. It's really a great resource when you're into PowerShell and want to learn new things. So with this, I would say thanks for tuning in. Have a nice weekend and see you at the next Ask Me Anything session.
All right.
Yes, for sure.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Harm. Thank you, Heiko.
Okay.
Bye bye. See you
Take
next
care.
time.
Bye.
Bye.